Finance Committee consider we're clear to assist in financing the position for the remainder of the fiscal year. But I think the time has come where, again, we have to put this back into the regular operating budget. This particular position, again, we're fortunate where the person that holds the position and the way that we've designated it does not have any benefits. So any additional costs associated with having an employee on the books are not there. It's a vital role that's played in order to protect the wetlands. If someone were to call and complain.
I was just going to say, there's a neighborhood in town where the agent goes out and sort of settles the peace, if you will. And so the police don't get called. Sometimes they do get called, but oftentimes she can go out and very level-headedly smooth everything over when someone's cutting a tree that maybe someone else doesn't want them to.
Again, the same thing, if there's been a violation of the filling of the wetlands, those types of determinations are made by this particular position. So we're at the point where we have to pick it back up, I believe, and put it into the general operating budget. Should things pick up and fees, income be generated, then we can take another look at supplementing the budget.
Or dissolving the revolving fund and just let
Right.
the money flow back in the general fund.
Correct.
Mr. Prisco.
I'm just more concerned about how we actually got to this point where we had to fall off a cliff. Don't we have a process that actually tells us that we're running low in a certain account somewhere along the way?
We do now.
Do now.
Because of this?
No, I can't speak for the past, but I mean, on a monthly basis, we run year-to-date expenditure reports to see where every department stands, whether it's a grant, revolving fund, or general fund appropriation.
So we're at risk that we may not get this service back with this particular individual because they're going to have to find alternative employment, I have to assume.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why Sister Steve has suggested that
On
they
Wednesday night,
apply
we're going
for
in front
a
of the FinCom.
reserve fund transfer for the balance of the year.
Again, I've been conversing regularly
You're
with
meeting
the-
Wednesday.
Yeah, and I've been conversing regularly with the town administrator and the Conservation Commission chair and vice chair, and vice chair and Tim also, over the last few weeks in order to help facilitate this and get the position back on track so that we're not left vulnerable.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Yule.
Yes. Hi. Working off the tree example, if someone wants to cut a tree off their property, they need permission from COMCOM to cut
No.
the tree, or?
Not always, but a lot of, because of the relative proximity of the water table in most lots in North Reading, if you want to do anything in the wetland, then you need to get permission.
Right.
And so most people just call to sort of hedge their bets,
Oh,
cover
okay.
themselves. I have to go out tomorrow and look at some trees because a homeowner wants to cut them down and they're in the wetland. So,
Okay.
Under the
So,
Wetland Protection Act,
yeah.
anything within 100 feet of the wetlands, the commission has jurisdictional.
right.
So if they cut too many trees down near the wetland, it changes.
Right,
Yeah.
no, I understand,
That's
I
why-
understand that.
that's
So,
why they
so
call.
they, so if it's a borderline scenario, then they would give you a call to
Correct.
verify whether it's okay or not.
maybe they want to cut several and they cut one and someone calls and they have to stop and then we have to go out.
Right.
Or Leah would normally go out.
And without Leah?
I usually, if my schedule allows, I go with Leah anyway.
Right,
just-
but regardless, if you can't go and we don't have the professional services, they can't cut that tree?
They might
Correct.
have to come to a public hearing.
Right.
If it got to that point, if no one could, if it was something that really needed to be addressed.
They would have to come
That's
before
what
the,
they'd have to do.
one of the two.
I see.
And the consequences if they just proceed?
There are consequences. If they proceed, they can get fined, and they would probably have to, in addition to the fine, they'd have to do a planting.
Heidi?
I just wanted to add from what I've seen during the last few weeks, it's just, from a big picture standpoint, it's pretty much what Mr. O'Leary stated. People are not getting building permits in a timely manner because there's nobody there. I mean, wetlands is a very specialized field. It's soils, it's plant life, and it's the presence of water bodies. And there are not a lot of people who have that particular education. So building permits are being held up, developers are being held up. And, I mean, we're talking homeowners on a lot of these projects. And official part of the team, and we don't have that insight that we have. And that position usually helps me meet my goals for writing grants, demonstrating that we can achieve our long-range plan. So just from an overall standpoint, I don't know, I don't know off the top of my head any nearby communities that don't have an agent. I don't know the specifics of the funding, but it feels pretty crummy when people come in for a building permit and you have to say, well, we really don't know, and we have to wait until the board members are available. It's rough on them.
Well, I think they've got our attention. It's the first I've heard of the issue. Mr. O'Leary obviously has heard of it and has actually been proactive in getting it resolved. So at this point, in the budget process, we review, for those that don't know, we go through, there's a meeting, Mr. Belaconis meets with the department heads, goes through the budget, makes recommendations. The department heads then have an opportunity to present to the board, make a case for where maybe the town administrator is looking at it one way and we'd like to hear the rest, and that's what we're doing. And then we provide actions to the town administrator to either put money back or find a way of resolving the problem in another method. So I think the board clearly understands the issue, and we will take it under advisement to deal with it in the short term. Who goes to the finance committee, Greg?
Finance director, the reserve fund transfer has already been submitted.
Okay. So when is the finance committee's next meeting?
Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, you're
No,
aware
this
of that?
Wednesday.
Okay.
This Wednesday.
This Wednesday, okay.
And how much are you looking for the balance of the year?
Less than $5,000.
Yeah, it's like 4,900.
Okay, great. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I think we have Board of Health.
Correct.
Martin?
Page 158.
Okay, Martin.
We submitted a level services budget as requested, and the Board of Health budget is divided into 3 sections. These are the administrative, environmental health, and community health elements. The administrative element carries the salaries of 2 full-time employees who are the health agent and the administrative assistant, and expense line items to support the operation of the office and the 2 other elements in the budget in general. There's an increase in personnel services line that should be reflective of a contractual cost of living adjustment. The remaining line items are budgeted in the same amounts that they were in fiscal years 2012 and 2011. In the environmental section of the budget, there are 2 line items that reflect a cost increase over our fiscal year 2012 and 2011 budgets. And the first is the mosquito control project has requested a 2% increase, or an increase of $895. They need to replace a 1998 GMC truck and are looking at a 7% increase from the state on their administrative services. Their overhead is provided by the state. We're also out of catch basin larvicide. We've requested $5,400, which is an increase over the $4,734 that was budgeted in the prior fiscal years. That'll purchase 8 cases of 220 ingots, or 1,760 ingots, which is almost enough to larvicide 1,800 catch basins. As you know, the Board of Health is largely an agent of the state, enforcing many environmental and sanitary codes and public health statutes. I'm proud to say that in a timely manner, we consistently fulfill our mandated responsibilities required by those codes and statutes. and that it's done in a very cost-efficient manner. Last year, I noted that the food sanitation certificates of a number of food establishment owners and persons in charge of food establishments had expired. No one was certified due to employee turnover. The health agent organized and participated in 2 single-day sanitation courses so that food establishment owners could certify or recertify. It was also noted that many food establishments having in excess of 24 seats did not have someone on staff certified in anti-choking techniques. So we also organized 2 3-hour morning and evening classes, educational sessions, so that the establishment owners and the employees could become certified. And you may have recently read in the transcript that a fellow by the name of Akeen from Andrea's House of Pizza on Main Street was presented a Heart Saver Award by 2 North Reading EMTs for saving a customer who was choking. And Akeen took the Choke Saver course that we organized. I'd also like to make note that last year we were reimbursed over $50,000 for administration of seasonal flu vaccine from prior seasons. The sanitary code, also the sanitary code on biohazards has recently been amended, and the public's no longer allowed to dispose of needles in the trash. The Department of Public Health wants to know what the North Reading Board of Health is doing about it. Would like to implement a shops collection and disposal program. It could be done simply by purchasing biohazard containers and selling them to those who need them at a price that includes the disposal costs and collecting them for disposal when they're full. It's one reason why we again plan on submitting a warrant article for a clinic revolving fund, and we hope the Board of Selectmen is willing to support it as they did when it was proposed at the October 2010 town meeting. We'd like to use the clinic revolving fund to establish a drug disposal program that could be effective in removing unused narcotics from medicine cabinets and in keeping other pharmaceuticals and endocrine-disrupting chemicals out of the groundwater. Since I started working on, originally when I started working on that program, it was possible that you could provide a secure kiosk to collect these drugs and dispose of them when necessary, like basically having the police take them to an incinerator. But more recently, new biohazard regulations have passed that require all different classes of drugs to be separated and disposed of by different companies and in different manners. So I don't know if that's something that could, I have to look more into it, that could actually happen. Maybe it could be handled something like a household hazardous waste collection day is, using Clean Harbors and companies like Stericycle and other ones that are in the medical waste disposal business. The original idea behind the clinic revolving fund came out of the Board of Health's desire to look at the health status indicators of the town's population and address those risk factors that are causing morbidity and mortality. We had requested an increase in the community health element of the budget, and while the Board of Selectmen wasn't opposed to the idea, they asked that we find a grant opportunity or other source of funding to support it. In the community health section of the budget, the line item amounts remain the same as fiscal years 2012 and 11. Under professional services, we budget $5,000 for beaver control and $6,500 for public health nursing services. Last calendar year, the public health nurse followed up on 74 reportable diseases, of which 42 were Lyme disease. And again, it would benefit the public health to provide, to maybe have a revolving fund for some very small amount of money to provide an educational forum and some web-based educational materials on Lyme disease. I'd also like to point out that last year, 24 police officers and 3 firefighters were immunized for hepatitis